All right, funny, funny, funny. I always say, don't mess with the bull, you get the horns. So it's only fitting and funny and fitting that the liberals didn't want the wall. And where do liberals live? California. So Trump declares an emergency because they wouldn't give them, like, what was it, $3 billion or whatever. Um, so basically, he says, okay, y'all didn't give me three. He needs 40. He declared an emergency. He can renew that emergency every year until he builds a whole wall if he wants. He's got to keep taking money, but the emergency is declared. The emergency doesn't say, I'm declaring emergency so I'll get the 3.4 they denied me. He can keep going until he spends 40 under the emergency. Well, now it looks like about $12 billion can be pulled from California projects through federal government through this emergency funding. It's going to go to court anyway. If it gets to the Supreme Court, it's going to be settled. They can't go back and sue and say, well, you're taking it from us on purpose because you don't like California, you don't like liberals. Well, it's going to already be through courts on the funding basis by that point. So basically, California is paying for the wall with $12 billion they're not going to get from the federal government, which is hilarious. It's kind of like what goes around comes around. You get what's coming to you. All they had to do was get together and say, all right, we'll give you your stupid $3.4 billion, and wall's going to happen anyway. We might as well make some political gains out of it, instead of what they've done. And I think, given the immigration side, and a lot of Americans, I mean, you had on the last election, that the midterms, Trump runs his mouth, and I think a lot of people have a little negative feeling about Trump, and some of the states did give some power to the House, but not the Senate, to kind of offset Trump. But like everything's like looking up. The economic numbers, household wealth, household income, jobs. Experts even say now that the China tariffs are having an effect on China that needs to have to get them to come to the table. Not just Trump saying it. He's got the EU already negotiating. He had the North American thing, Canada, and all that. North Korea's bucking, but I mean, let's be honest. We could tariff Russia out of existence if we want to, more or less, a little ass North Korea. We can hurt them enough; they're not going to have a choice. It's kind of like a parent who can make their kids, stay grounded and not leave the house and not give them an allowance. They pretty much have total control. The kids can keep trying to rebel, but how much good can they do in the end? So they will lament. I mean, it's just, you're stupid if you think, oh no, little Kim won't, and Kim can do it. Kim can't do nothing. They have a freaking economy less than half of South Carolina's economy, for Christ's sakes, and we're making it almost impossible for them to operate at this point. It will get worse. It will lead to a rebellion in their own country, which, if you pay attention to the news, there's already stuff going on. Or Kim will lament, and it's a good thing for him because he'll get a lot of aid in the country. They'll get economic development and all that, and you just got to realize it. Now take all the liberal stupidity going on right now. Oh, we want to do everything that gives us winners, and we want to change the voting age to 16, and we want to get rid of the electoral college, and we want to do this and that and the other, and we got to do all this stuff that gives liberals a chance. And all the liberals are like, yeah, because then we won't have Trump anymore. We won't have people like Trump anymore. But the middle sees that, so you got 33% on the left, 33% on the right. The rest of them are in the middle. I think the middle's going to see that as they went about as crazy as what made them elect Trump in the first place. add that, the Green New Deal, and all this. We're going to take away your health care and give you government health care. Kamala Harris, we're going to cancel every insurance policy in the country. I really can't foresee the Democrats. Number one, Trump's getting everything he wants. He'll get his wall. He'll get reelected. In the eventual, by the time those next 5 years are up, 5 and change at this point, the wall will be built. The money will come out of California, and he can probably stick it in New York somehow. He'll go target the states that are big liberals. New Jersey. That is just funny now that I see that they're planning on taking as much as $12 billion from California. It's genius and hilarious. Oh yeah, we're gonna get Trump. Good job, liberals. You got him, all right. So he's going to get everything he wants. It's going to hurt the liberals. He will get reelected. He'll get all this stuff done. And I think House and Senate will probably get at least one more, maybe even 2 more Supreme Court nominations. I mean, Jesus. And okay, liberals will pack the court when you got to have a Democrat Senate to do that, and I really don't think you're going to get it, at least not with a Democrat president. So good luck on that. So I mean, I think you've lost. I mean, it's kind of funny if you look at everything. I mean, handling the opioid crisis. Back to where I lose my train of thought sometimes. So the middle, they look at all this and they look at they were concerned in the first place of immigration. And the liberals have really gone kind of stupid on that end too. They're fighting anything immigration to get more voters in. And the middle can see that, you idiots. I know all the leftists are all telling each other, yeah, that's such a good idea. And they don't realize what it looks like to everybody who's not a leftist. So, you look at all the accomplishments, and the border and immigration will be one. I mean, not immigration policy, unless we get 2/3 majority in House and Senate, which that probably won't happen either. But at least the American people will know who tried. So, we'll have the immigration. Supreme Court, you probably don't like it, but he's got it. He's got opioid, he's working on opioid crisis, where nobody else has to this point. He's worked on the VA healthcare, where nobody has at this point. I know Obama promised to, but he didn't care about the military people. Military rebuilding. I'm a libertarian protectionist. We spend too much money on the military, and I'm ex-military. But if you don't have the money, you can't spend the money. I don't foresee it as any harder than that. And I know I'm not in government, and there's probably people smarter than me. But when I go vote, that's what's going through my mind. But I'm probably not going to vote for a liberal unless they come up and said, okay, we're going to cut the military, but we're going to cut a lot of this other spending crap too. I might say, well, Bill Clinton said that. He didn't do it. I mean, Bill Clinton sort of had a balanced budget. It was projected to balance. It never actually balanced. Those balancings never actually showed up because, they do projections like 5 years out. But at least it got close. But he also agreed to just sign the Republican bill that was ahead of him, in front of him. So, but, cutting the military is one thing he did. He said he was going to, he said, and this is actually, I voted for Bill Clinton. And that's the last Democrat I'll ever vote for. And what got me on Bill Clinton was one of the debates. He was talking about Social Security, and he says, well, it's not going to be there forever, and we can't. It's not going to it's going to have problems. It's having problems. It's projected to run out. Yeah. We're going to have to address it, and he never did. That kind of pissed me off about Bill Clinton, and that's not what turned me off of voting Democrat. It's all the crap now Um, and, Obamacare ruining our healthcare system. I can't get insurance because it's just too unaffordable. I make too much money to get it for free, and I can't afford to spend over a third of my income on health insurance. Thank you, Obama. But I'm okay because A, I know how to do medical tourism, know where to go to get cheap medical care that I pay for myself. And B, what I do here in America, my 2 or 3 doctor's visits a year, my monthly medications, my dentist, cost me less than 3 months worth of health insurance premiums. Oh, and thanks Trump, there's no penalty anymore for me not having it. So, there's that too, liberals. So income, the unemployment rates and all that. You've got the opioid crisis handled. You've got the justice reform, which is good. If I could just get them to spend a little less on the military and spend less on everything. I mean, you can't tell me we can't balance the damn budget. I can't spend more than I got. Well, I do on credit cards, but they limit it. And I don't think the government should be able to either. But the amount of accomplishments, all this crap with the Democrats right now. And the thing is, it's so funny that they're all, you got these individual House races that are going to come up in 2020. And all these liberals out there calling for the Green New Deal and calling for abolishment of the Electoral College and making the voting age 16 just so they can get elected. I mean, that's what it's all about. If you think you're a liberal and saying, well, that's not really what we just really want the people. Bull crap. We're not stupid. You might be stupid. If you think I'm stupid, then you definitely are stupid. And the thing is, most of middle America isn't stupid. And all the Republicans got to say is, you need to vote Republican in your district in Ohio and Iowa and all that to take the power away from Nancy Pelosi and these idiots, even if that House race candidate says they're not for all that. But you still need to take them out from the majority so liberals don't get the power enough to do it. And all the parts of the country that will be ignored by taking the Electoral College away should be scared shitless. Your Iowa, your flyover country, Ohio too even, every single bit of that would be an idiot to vote Democrat. And if you're a Democrat and think, well, that gives me the power and what I want, okay, you're 33 or 32% of the country, fine. Every single other bit of that should be like, yeah, right. And probably will be, and that's the funny part. Because, I mean, you can sit there and somebody in that house rate in that district might say, well, I'm not really for that. Yeah, but if you're in that group, you're probably going to vote with your caucus, your constituents, or your caucus in your party. But not only that is, even if you vote against her, you're not for it. But there's enough Democrats in this party and then control the House where yours doesn't matter. Oh, the Republicans got to say, you got to get him out of there to keep that majority away from the Democrats where they actually do this stuff. And so it's going to kill Democrats in 2020. If it doesn't, Venezuelans voted for Hugo Chavez 12 years ago, and they're eating out of trash cans now. It's called getting the government you deserve. So America, if you want to go ahead and vote for these Democrats who are going to rig the system to make sure they always have power, and are going socialist, like Venezuela, and are going Green New Deal. You can't drive your car in 5 years or 6 years. You can't eat a cow. No airline travel. You're going to get what you deserve, and I'm going to laugh, probably sitting in Thailand or Philippines or somewhere it's cheaper to live. Every time I see somebody from America at that point complain online about the government they deserve, that they got what they deserve, I'm just going to say, you don't have a right to complain. If you didn't vote against it, you don't have a right to complain. Venezuelans don't have a right to complain. They voted for what they have right now. They voted for socialism. They voted for Hugo Chavez. They put him in office. And they got the results of their wishes. If they were too stupid to understand what the results of what they voted for was going to be, then that's their fault too. Educate yourself. If you're an American and you vote for this shit, when you don't have food, when you can't get health care because there's no money in the system, you can't get health care because there's no doctors, and you can't get food and shoes for your kids, don't complain. It's going to be your fault, and you're going to get what you asked for.